Now, this presentation is going to introduce you to piping and instrumentation diagrams. Now, the acronym P&ID, P is for piping, I is for instrumentation, and D is for diagram. We're going to look at a P&ID entitled Hot Detergent and Hot PUW Generation and Distribution. So what I need you to do now is to go ahead and get your hard copy of your P&ID, because this presentation is based on the P&ID, which are pack. Now, as we said, the acronym P&ID means piping and instrumentation diagram. And essentially, the P&ID is a diagram showing piping and instrumentation connections between process units. These process units are generally equipment items such as tanks, pumps, heat exchangers, in-process flow filters, etc. And we're showing the piping connectivity and the instrumentation connections between those process equipment units. As well as being technically correct, the P&ID should also be user-friendly and easy to read. Now, P&IDs are generally owned on the project by the process lead engineer. The instrumentation element of the P&ID is by the electrical and instrumentation engineer. And every revision of a P&ID issued is reviewed by both the process engineer and the assigned electrical and instrumentation engineer. Now, with respect to revision control, each revision of a P&ID represents a significant work input. The number of revisions of a P&ID should be kept to a minimum, and these should only be marked up by the CAD department, the Computer Aided Design department. Let's look at our P&ID. If you go and look at the bottom right-hand corner of the P&ID, you will see the revision. In our case, the revision is Rev 0, and it's issued for construction. Now, with revision control, typically you will see revisions issued as follows. Revision A would be issued for client comments. Revision B, we're issuing for the hazard and operability study. Issue C is for client approval, and this is the client's final opportunity for input. Revision 0, like our P&ID, is issued for construction. The design is now frozen. And once the job is complete, we then do an as-built version of the P&ID, and we call this Rev 1 and the as-built issue. Now, in general, with a P&ID, the process typically flows from left to right. So if you look at any P&ID, we'll see flags, P&ID flags, and it'll flow from left to right. We will have a source P&ID, and then we'll have a destination P&ID. So services entering and leaving a P&ID should have the associated flags entering and leaving at the extremes of the P&ID. Now, extremes of the P&ID means the extreme left and right. Looking at flags, when you see a flag, we see a service description, a source P&ID. For example, instrument air coming in from P&ID 008. We will see service description in terms of condensate return. Its destination P&ID this time is P&ID 204. Let's look at our own P&ID for some examples. Let's look at two flags at the extremes, at the left and right, extreme left and right of the P&ID. What we see here is a concentrated detergent solution. Its source destination is P&ID 229. And what we see here is plant condensate. And its destination P&ID is P&ID 100.